in my defense, I almost gave you 3 Sarah J. Maas books. And then I added something else for variety, okay?
Thanks, I guess.
Quack.
Welcome to the Little Duck Book Club with duck number 1,
Ren, and duck number 2,
Anna. And today we're going to do another video in our series of Keep, Burn, Rewrite, our own little, what you call a game show, where we give the other duck 3 books, and basically it's a fuck, marry, kill for books. Either one of the books is to keep, one of them we burn to never see again, and one of them we rewrite, because maybe that makes the book better, depending on what kind of books we gave the other person. So
foreshadowing as a literary device.
Maybe you want to go through the selection of books I gave you as a little flavor for the books that I gave Ren. I was like, it's Pride Month, so we're gonna bully
it's
the
Pride
gays.
Month. I was about to say, so we were both being homophobic, but in different ways.
Different ways. Yes, please start.
Yeah, I am being tortured because I'm made to choose between good gay books, which, first, The Spirit Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez, then Gideon the Nines by Tamsin Muir, and A Memory Called Empire by Akadi Martin. What a great selection.
What a great selection. I patted myself on the shoulder there when I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah. 2 of these we actually did even read in the podcast. So
yeah, we have episodes on 2 of these.
Yeah. So if you want to check them out.
And I will say, in fairness, usually we both pick our books before we tell the other person what we picked for them. But this time I did a revenge picking. I was like, oh, we're being homophobic? Okay, I can also do that in a different flavor.
It was very funny, yeah. So, my anti-Pride Month books that I got, we have the one and only Cassandra Clare with City of Bones, The Mortal Instruments, the Shadowhunter start of all time. We have A Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, a different iconic start to a series. And then, because you really hate me, we have A Court of Silver Flames, again, by Sarah J. Maas. Because, why not? Why not?
It is your fault for having read it so that it's even available for me to pick. So
yeah, I'm trying to really catch up on books so that for KBRs, Ren has more to pick, and also because I want to get more reading done this year. But you really looked at my timeline and said, nah. We're gonna pick something that's far in the back. None of the new stuff. It's just, I was a bit scared that you were going to go, okay. Because I think you already had me pick Lightlark one time. Or did I make you go through Lightlark? But was a bit scared that you'd go, what was it? Nightbane, Skyshade, and Crown Tide.
Ooh, that would also be a vile selection, I will say.
I was scared. So this one I was like, you know what? That's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's not the worst. Yeah.
It's not the worst. Yeah. All right. So usually we go over the books and a quick synopsis and everything. Maybe we don't need to do that with my books, as you said earlier, because people should know my books.
Right.
I feel like it's a super short. Super short.
But I feel like all these books, I mean, 4 out of 6 we have episodes about where we talk about it in depth. And then the other 2, I mean, 3 out of 6, because we don't have a video on Silver Flames, but I feel like we've talked about it in our Avatar retrospective. And
yes.
If you are here listening to an obscure book podcast, I feel like there is no way you are not familiar with the basic premise of Throne of Glass or ACOTAR sequels or Gideon the Ninth. And everything else we have episodes on. Which I feel like the other ones are maybe a bit more obscure, like Memory Called Empire and Spear Cuts Through Water. They did win prizes, but I feel like they're not, like, big talked about online. Like,
they're not viral in that sense.
Yeah, I've seen them because I follow book reviewers with more highbrow tastes than myself, who read like the short lists for prizes and then like, you know, give their opinion on the different books. But I don't see these like big in conversation in like the general sense, whereas I feel like the other ones are all like pretty talked about.
Yeah, I will say I have seen a lot about like the ninth series.
Right,
but yeah, Spare Cats or not. So
which is a shame.
It's a big shame. So who wants to start with their keep out of the books?
I would have loved to be like, well, you started last time, but I don't remember who started last time. So.
I didn't check either. We can play a quick game of Schnick, Schnack, Schnuck, but you know what?
I would have said Alter vor Schönheit, but...
I was like, what is an age before beauty? Alright, then I start. Okay. Because you got...
Those, like, 1.5 months are really doing it.
I was about to say, because you got those 6 weeks on me or something. Okay. So my keep. For me, this is more of a nostalgic decision. Because I this series, actually, as bad as it is, it means so much to me. So we're keeping City of Bones by Cassandra Clare.
Ooh, interesting.
I read this series for the first time when I was very, very young, when only the first 3 of them were out, because my sister had them. And I thought the series was so dumb. I hated it. I thought, oh my god, this is so stupid. I loved everything except the romance aspect, and since it's so strong in the romance, I kind of really didn't like that. But everything surrounding City of Bones, the first 3 books, then the subsequent 3 books that came out after, what was it, the prequel series, I forgot what the name was, and then the movie.
Infernal Devices.
Thank you, Infernal Devices. And then the show, and all of that is like, it's a very sweet
also
spot.
Also the movie, like in between.
Yeah, the movie and the show.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet spot for me in my mind. And if we look past how, I would say, badly this book has aged, because anything that's sort of urban fantasy with lots of references to pop culture and like the vibe of the 2000s and 10s when these books came out, it tends to age badly. But despite that, it's a fun YA start into a story. I didn't want to burn it because I do not want to disrespect City of Bones like that, because you know what, no. And rewriting it, I was like, I would have to change more than, you know, like overall over the whole series, instead of just the first book. So that's my very short, very sweet keep, City of Bones. Because
I think it's
like
very
Glee
funny
for
that,
me.
That Cassandra Clare has managed to create a blonde boy who's a love interest who you fucking hate.
The only blonde boy.
So unusual for you, yeah.
I saw that man and I said, I hate him.
I mean, in fairness, it's kind of deserved.
I think my main thing was also that I just really liked Simon. I've been a Simon supporter throughout the whole series. I hated it was very clear that they would never get together.
Right.
So I did hate all of that. And he was also very desperate and pathetic. But overall, I thought that Simon was such an interesting character because he still goes with everything else, even though he is human until at some point he's not anymore. But I liked his transition into the magical realm opposed to Clary's transition, because she's like, oh, they're like, oh, you're a Shadowhunter, Clary, we're gonna take you out, you're gonna be our little and then there's Simon, he's going through the catacombs and the vampire estate, it's a very different experience. So that was also weighing against Jace, that I was like, but he's like, right there.
The nice boy, yeah.
The nice boy is right there, yeah.
I think it's funny that different people have such different experiences, because once again I was deeply disappointed that, like, they killed him but then he survived, you know what I mean? Like, I hate when books do that, especially with characters who are so obviously not gonna be endgame anyway, where it's like, why are we keeping this guy around? He, like... What's the point?
Yeah. It always also makes you go, why are we even doing this? I did, at one point, I was looking up fanfics on AO3 on fandoms that I never thought back in the day. I was like, oh my god, they probably do have an AO3 community, so let me just check it out. And I got, like, caught in this rabbit hole of people shipping Jace and Simon. I was like, this is a constellation that I actually oddly like. So
yeah, it was like, also, like, there's this weird, like, homoerotic blood drinking scene.
Yes. I don't know, is it
why
the third book or something?
It's like
when they're on the ship.
Second or third book or something. Yeah. I remember that and I was like, wow, that's kind of gay. And then it just moves on to be the most heterosexual stuff you could ever imagine.
I remember thinking that was such a funny scene because they also look at each other and they're like, we're never talking about this ever again.
Yeah.
No word to Clary.
They're
no
both
word to
like,
anybody
repress.
They're like, whatever
it's
we just felt, stay, like, what happens on the ship stays on the ship. We're not gonna, so...
They're literally on the ship too, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think that was on purpose, was it?
No, I don't think it was on purpose.
Even though she does have the fanfic background. I think it was very
random that they were on a ship.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my keep.
That's, okay, fair. My keep, I feel like, is also pretty obvious. My darling, the sphere cuts through water. I could never change it. I could never throw it away. It's perfect. The rare book where I'm like, it's perfect. What else could you want? Like, hello? Have you seen this?
Yeah. I recently had a friend over, and whenever I have people over at some point, the conversation usually goes to books because my whole living room is full of books. And I'm always like, oh, this is also nice. Oh, and this is also nice. Every single time, ever since we read A Spare Cuts Through Water, I take out this book and I'm like, okay, listen to me. You watch, attention, you gotta get it. And then I like open the book and I'm like, but look, there's like these italics and this, and then it doesn't really have chapters. And then I realize I've been talking about this book for 10 minutes now, and the person across from me is still interested, but they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I understand how you could do nothing else with this book.
Like, this book has everything. It has really good writing, it has great characters, it has a banger cover. Literally, what else could you ever want? It's gay as fuck. It's funny. It's great.
A whole experience reading that book.
We spent like 2 hours talking about how much we like it. So I don't need to repeat that, but like, you should read it. If you like fantasy, you should read this.
And honestly, don't watch our video before you read it. Read it first.
Read it without spoilers. It is so fun. Like, not that spoilers ruin it, but just the experience of it is so good.
Yeah. One of those few occasions where I went into a book without any research on anything, because again, we just picked it up, right, at the book fair, and reading it and going, oh my god. Like, that line at the very beginning with this is a love story, I was like, yes, please. I need it. And I was just, yes.
It is so tasty. It is fucking tasty.
Scrunch. It is a meal. It is a feast.
The world building is also so fucking tasty. It is so fantastical, so lush, so beautiful. We don't need to talk about it anymore. It's just that good. So I have to keep it. It's my baby. I love it.
Right now, in this moment, on my list of books I want to read this year, even though I have this huge, like, portion physical TBR, I'm like, I'm gonna put that book on there.
Same though. I was like, I need to reread it again.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I forgot so much already. Where I'm like, no, I need to experience this book again.
Yeah. No, it's a couple of books that I've been thinking about recently, and this was one too. I was like, oh yeah, that was nice. That's so
Gorgeous.
Nice. Yeah. So, two gushing keeps.
One more than the other.
Well, gushing in terms of emotionally involved doesn't mean
true.
how good the book is. Let's get to my burn. So you gave me 2 Sarah J. Maas books, where it was like, thanks, I guess. I remember in our last Sarah J. Maas video, I was like, yeah, and I think now we're done talking about this. We don't have to do this anymore. And you give me these books, and I'm like, oh, no. I have to talk about them again.
In my defense, I almost gave you 3 Sarah J. Maas books. And then I added something else for variety, okay?
Thanks, I guess. So, Silver Flames versus Throne of Glass. I do like the Throne of Glass series. I loathe and hate the first book. Because it's just so immature and so all over the place. And I only finished it because I think it was you who said, oh no, it gets better, like read the rest of the series, back when I started reading books again. However, when I thought about the rewrite aspect and I was weighing these 2 books, I thought, okay, no. One is easier to rewrite than the other. So burning on the pyre goes Throne of Glass. I did not see
This is so funny because I was like, oh, we're obviously burning Silver Flame.
I did not see a way to rewrite Throne of Glass. For me, first of all, this wouldn't have been a fun exercise for me. It would have been torture. And second of all, I couldn't really see an angle in which way I would rewrite Throne of Glass. To me, the book itself is so disjointed from the rest of the series to the point where it doesn't just feel like Aelin has a different name, but Selena and Aelin are 2 completely different characters. They just look the same. And then Aelin goes through some heavy character development at the end of the second book and the third book, that she then becomes the character who everybody remembers for the rest of the series. But then you go back to Throne of Glass and you're like, who is this?
Who is this?
What in this 16-year-old am I reading right now? So no, on the pyre.
Interesting.
Every single copy. No.
Every single copy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Buy it as an ebook. It was ridiculously cheap as an ebook.
Find a free PDF online.
Or
you don't need to buy this.
Go to a library or something.
Just listen to like an upload of the audiobook on like YouTube. That's how I first found it. Like the audiobooks were for free. Not on any official channel. They were just there and I was like, well, okay. I mean, it's not my problem. Like,
I was about to say they were for free.
I mean, if YouTube hadn't taken it down by then, it's like, that's not on me. If it's on YouTube, that's like the most legal place you could find something.
YouTube sometimes is the wild, wild west, because it will go after the smallest copyright infringement, but then one time I had the whole... Like, I saw this as a meme and I thought it wasn't real, until around that time I had the whole, like... Was it... Horton hört ein Hu? Horton hears a who? Like that whole movie as an ad before a video.
Oh, yeah, I remember. They did that for a while.
Yeah, I thought it only was a meme until it happened to me. So I do not doubt that you will find audiobooks.
Especially like audiobooks seem to be very commonly uploaded onto YouTube. Which again, like they are so good at detecting like music and shit where I'm like, well, if it hasn't been taken down, then like I deserve to listen to this. If they don't
Yeah.
make an effort to take it down, that's not my problem.
And even if you don't find the official audiobook, there's so many people uploading their own
Just reading.
audiobooks
That's also
because they
true.
do read. And I have found some really good audiobooks, like by people who just read these books for fun. So yeah, do that. Or just don't. I'm sure. Listen, call me.
You don't need to bother. Like, if you desperately want to, we're like, you can get it for free. Do not pay money, but also don't bother. Do not bother. It's not worth it.
Don't come to my house. You know. Not to like don't kill me or anything, but I think if you do want to read the Throne of Glass series, you can skip the first book. You can read a summary
Probably,
on it,
yeah.
and skip it.
I mean, what happens? There's
not much.
There's the competition, and there's some god awful nonsense, and
there's some flirting, some ball.
Right. I mean, I guess if you don't read the first, it becomes even more comical that the black friend character gets violently murdered in the second one, like halfway through or something. But, like, I mean, it's not really changing much.
Call me a heathen again, but my suggestion is to also not read the second one. The third one is my favorite, so just start with that.
Just read the third one and nothing else, and that's the ideal Throne of Glass experience. Besides
just start
not reading
and
it
stop. Just start and stop at the third book. That's all you need. Arrow Fire is the only book you need to read.
Just read a good Aelin/Rowan fic is what we're suggesting. Don't even bother with the book.
Yeah. That's honestly slay. Yeah.
I mean, frankly, they're not good, but if you're like, well, I want to know what everyone's talking... Or is anyone even still talking about Throne of Glass? I feel like the Throne of Glass era ended the moment ACOTAR got big. Because I feel like now people only talk about ACOTAR, really. Like, even Crescent City, like, when the books were coming out, it got attention. But even then, it was always overshadowed by the largeness of ACOTAR as, like, a cultural phenomenon.
I feel like looking at the stocks, right, at the Sarah J. Maas stocks, I would say the ACOTAR stock is still the highest. I will say that people, at least in like the in the social media spaces, when I just check out stuff for fun or for a podcast, still a lot of talk on Throne of Glass. Mainly because it's still a lot of stuff about specific characters, like not overall like, oh my god, the series is so great, but more like, oh my god, Aelin, oh my god, Rowan, you know, that kind of stuff. The Crescent City stock is dead. Nobody talks about Crescent City. At least nobody. Nothing comes naturally across my dash.
Yeah. Which,
nothing.
I mean, we know these things are curated, like the algorithms, to your personal taste. But it's also just like, I feel like Crescent City never had the simple first book that gets people emotionally invested and then becomes crazy. It started crazy, so the investment is just not on the same level. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, even though I think the books are not good, I have more fond memories of Throne of Glass as a whole idea than I have of like ACOTAR, and I wouldn't even touch Crescent City. Because like if you start slow and slowly introduce characters and give them room to breathe, then people get attached in a way they don't if you throw 20 characters at them in the first book.
Yeah. No,
and expect people to care, right?
I agree. I think the one thing is that both ACOTAR and Throne of Glass were just a lot shorter. Like, they're not short books, right? ACOTAR was still 500 pages, I think?
No, ACOTAR is like 400 pages, 400? Which is pretty normal, I would say. It's pretty average.
Crescent City comes in crashing with 800 pages for the first
Already the first one? That's crazy.
I think the first book was already like between 750 and 800. And then the other ones are around 800 to 900. Let me check real quick, but I'm pretty sure.
That is kind of crazy. Because just looking at, like, Kingdom of Ash, I was already like, what? How much could happen in a Sarah J. Maas book that makes sense and is justified in being in this book? It's like, okay, it's a series finale, so whatever, but, like, for a first book, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's 800 to 816 pages. So that's already a big, like a big whopper coming on top of what you'd said.
That's true.
With the, you're not even getting eased into it. Like, you have to do it like Robin Hobb, you know? I got caught with Assassin's Apprentice. Nice length, 400 pages. Very dense TypeScript, but, you know, whatever. It's fun. And then the second book is 600, and then the third book is 800. But easing your way into it is a lot better than coming at you with an 800-page whopper. Anyways, your burn.
My burn is actually Gideon the Ninth. I think it's fun. It's like sci-fi fantasy, like murder mystery with a lot of like necromancy and stuff going on. And I think that's fun. I had fun reading it, but also looking back now, I just don't feel that strongly about it. I know the books are very polarizing online because they have a very recognizable writing style. Like, it's very specifically stylized, and I understand that would then mean that people either really like it or are really put off by it, because the moment you make any strong stylistic choice, that will create more intense reactions. But I feel mostly neutral about it. Like, I like it, it was fun, but I'm not that invested.
What do you mean with the specific writing style? Is it very like flowery or like crass?
It's not flowery or crass. It's just very, how do I describe it? I wouldn't know how to describe it, but it has a lot of personality. And that immediately means that it can be more difficult for people to get into. Yeah, no, it's like, it's just very recognizable. If you would give me an excerpt of it, it would be much easier for me to tell that this is from this series, as opposed to a snippet with like names redacted or whatever from one of the 20 popular romantasy books right now, where I would be like, these all sound the same. I could not tell you where this is coming from.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and also, it is a, I would say, competently constructed murder mystery also. So I was like, I wouldn't even know what to change here, because the moment you change any significant part of the plot, the whole mystery falls apart in a way. And I was like, I'm not touching this. I'm not touching this. So unfortunately, the sacrifice of this day's session is like, go off the cliff into like the shark infested waters. Goodbye. I'll see you never.
Yeah, I was interested in it because I did see a lot of content on it. I do follow a couple of people who even cosplay from the book itself. We have a common friend who really likes the series, who has been begging me to read it. So I was like, oh, well, let's see.
I do think it's fun, and I think you might like it. Again, I feel like there are some very, it's a bit quirky in some ways, where I'm like, well, I don't know if this would be off-putting enough for you to say you don't like it, or it would just make you go, oh, I'm just gonna read other stuff and I'll come back to this later, and then it's like 9 months have passed and you're like, oh, I was supposed to get back to this. Oh, true. And also it's pretty, they are also relatively long, I would say. I think 500 plus pages, so on your goal to read more books this year, this might not be the ideal candidate. Also, you still have like a mountain of 100 books. So
I do have
you should not be acquiring new things at this point.
No, I should not. I made the mistake of going to the library it never a mistake, but I made the mistake of going to the proper bookshelves. And I saw many new English books actually the library has. I was like, no, I need to leave. I can't do this. So you are probably right with that. But yeah, it is on my list of books, and every single time I do see it in a bookstore, I'm like, shall I? Shall I not? Shall I? But yeah. All right, getting into the nitty-gritty heavy of it. Let me take my notes here. I apologize if you guys hear some paper rustling. I tried to edit that
That's
out.
ASMR. That's the people are here for this.
So the rewrite obviously now is for Silver Flames, since that's the only book that's left for me. And interestingly enough, so I read the book, you didn't read it. We both, I think, also rewatched the like a 4 or 5 hour re-summary of the video of the book. And in preparation for this video, I also went through like a chapter by chapter summary again of it, because I was like,
that's a lot of work.
There's things I don't remember. So I have some basic rewrite directions, and then I wrote down like bullet points on how the book would go.
Yes.
So, quick recap. Silver Flames happens after the Akatar books, plus the winter episode that they have, the winter novella. And we basically, so Nesta this time is the main character. This is the Nesta, Cassian, Nessian book. Nesta is not doing well. She fucking hates her life. Basically, just tries to kill herself every single day with booze, fucking people, taking drugs. And on the other side of the city we have Feyre and Rhysand living in their Mac mansion, all happy, paying the tab for Nesta. Because Nesta just always goes, oh yeah, put it on the high ladies tab whenever she goes out to drink. And that's starting to rack up. And then their idea for redemption is to say, okay, Nesta, this is enough. This is an intervention. We're going to put you into prison, aka the House of Winds, which was like their other mansion that they have in the mountains that you can only get away from if you can fly or winnow, or as we're being presented by Feyre when Nesta asks, "Am I a prisoner?" Like this ridiculously long staircase that they have. It's like, whom is this even made for? Even if you can walk up and down these stairs, it takes like at least an hour to 2 hours to walk down and up. So I really don't know why they said this is a great idea instead of just scaling up and down the mountain. Anyways, for the rest of the book, Nessa then has to train with Cassian to get strong again and, you know, drink water, get healthy, stop doing drugs. And while that happens, she meets some friends in her, like, community work she has to do in the library, and in one of the Illyrian camps that Cassian takes her to train. And they become besties, and they turn into Valkyries, which is like a fighter gang for women that they reinitiate. It's like a back in the day thing.
I love that fighter gang makes it sound that they're like a gang in Valaris that, like, you know, robs the liquor store and beats people up and shit. Drives it's like motorcycles, you know what I mean?
It is kind of cute in the way that these three build this friendship and they do train together, and then in the end they the test to become a Valkyrie is like you have like I forgot what fabric it's made of, but like a white ribbon of fabric, and you have to be able to just take a sword and cut it through while it's just billowing in the air, and then you take that white thing and put it around, like you know, in Naruto where they have the headbands, you just put it around your head, and then that makes you a Valkyrie. They go through the training. It's cute. It's sweet. They bond over their respective traumas. Nesta goes through some healing work, and then they get captured. We get some little bit of lore. They get captured by some Illyrians to join their warrior initiation ritual, I guess. Basically, they just drop these people in the mountains around the mountain, the Night Court mountain, Ramiel, I think was it. And then they have to climb up that mountain, and on top of that is like a portaling stone. If they touch it, they get portaled right back to civilization, and they are the warriors. And there's like different degrees of what kind of great warrior you are, depending on how far you made it, to the mountain, up the mountain, to the stone. And they don't let women join this ritual because, obviously women are weak, and they have like considered it, but the consensus between the boys, so Cassian and Rhys and Azriel, is the other Illyrians cannot behave, and they will most likely rape and kill these women if we put them into this ritual, so we do not have any official women warriors, which is why no women have ever joined, female Illyrians have ever joined this ritual, and now the girls were kidnapped, put into that ritual, and they, of course, make it to the top of the mountain with the power of magic and power of friendship. I meant the power of friendship and magic.
My little Valkyries, friendship is magic, yes.
Yeah. And while that goes on, you have this absolutely convoluted plot going on the other side of the book, with deceit of the last female queen that's out there, like the old one, and Koshai, the death god, the dead troves, or dread troves, I always forget what they're called, being a mask, a harp, and a crown. And if you wield them, you're death. It's on the same it's on the same line as like this, more is truth. It's like, the dead troves are death. It's like, okay.
I love that two of them are like, things you put on, and then you have a harp that you can just like play like a little scamp with your mask and crown on. You're like threateningly playing your harp. It's just very funny.
The thing is, each of them had like a specific superpower in that sense. I don't remember which of the crown or the mask it was, but one gave like super infinite power. The other one made it possible to control and manipulate other people without them noticing. The harp had 23 strings. Thank you. I forgot the English word. And each string like enters basically a new dimension. And through some lore shenanigans, we find out that the 23rd string would be time. That's think.
A pretty big harp. If I'm thinking about it, like 23 strings, like that's pretty.
Yeah. It's not the little thing you just showed me. It's like a proper having to sit down playing a harp.
Yeah, it's like a huge harp. That's really funny.
Is a harp. Which is so fun in fan art. People always are like putting like a small harp in there, but if you want to have the 23 strings, it has to be at least a sizable thing. Anyways, that happens. We have some ridiculous subplots in there, lots of over-convoluted things, and here is where I would change things. I would completely scratch Cassian's, and I honestly don't remember if any other person had a POV, any POV that isn't Nesta. Mm-hmm. I don't need Cassian waxing poetics about Nesta's boobs. I feel like that's it's out of line. It's so out of line. I want I'm coming into this wanting to read a journey of finding self-worth, forgiving yourself, forgiving other people, redemption, all that kind of stuff, the heavy-hitting themes, and then you turn to the next page, and it's Cassian being like, damn, that's juicy ass in those leather pants.
I mean, can you imagine if Air of Fire had a Rowan POV, and it repeatedly was just talking about Rowan's ass and the boobs, and just...
To be fair, Rowan would probably be like, I fucking hate that bitch. But imagine, in between, then you'd have a line.
But then he'd also be, I hate her, but that ass, man, yeah.
It's not fun. And the second thing is, what I remembered from Cass and POV was that Nesta's POV is like a very unreliable narrator. Obviously, she's going through withdrawal. She thinks everybody hates her. She hates herself. She's suicidal. It happens. But then you switch to Cassid's POV, and everything immediately gets not retconned, but everything immediately gets like put into perspective. And I don't need that. I don't want to be coddled that way. I think it's very... You can assume from somebody who reads Silver Flames that they're old and mature enough to realize that this is an unreliable narrator. And you don't immediately need Cassian to spell it out that he wants to help her and he loves her and he likes her. You know, that's not my kind of... And I hate Cassian. He's very funny in the previous books because he works in this little Illyrian trio, or in like his partner thing with Azrael. But as soon as we get into this man's head, I can't do without it. Then I actually would also scrap the human queen plot. So the idea is that the queen who got like super old because Nesta went into the cauldron before her and then took something from the cauldron, and then the cauldron went, yo bitch, that's not nice, and then decided to mutilate the next person that like jumped into the cauldron. That queen is now out there for revenge. Her name started with a B. Brialyn? Something like that. She's out to also find the Dread Droves, with the help of Koshai, the guy who lives in a lake. Because she can. I think she wanted to turn younger, which I think is such a... Like, what sort of Disney movie villain ass shit is that? In this kind of book, right? In this kind of book, with these kind of themes. Sure. Give me your Botox villain. Like,
I was about to say, in a world full of fairy magic, I feel like it should be easier to find someone who can make you look young than to assemble the Dread Tropes.
Listen, I don't like this. It, in terms of Nesta's like still struggling with the identifying as fae and humans and all that kind of stuff, it feels weird again to make her go after a human who at the end of the day, not to defend the evil queen, but who at the end of the day was also just a victim to the fae. Feels weird. Feels like nonsensical to the actual plot and message of this book. So I'd scrap that. I don't care about what the human queen is doing. I don't want to hear about Koshai or anyone. What I would instead put in there is that what we also have in the book is a power struggle in the Autumn Court. I don't like Eris, but he's like, oh, I want to get the throne for my father, blah, blah. They want to support me, they not want to support me. He wants to support the queen, Take the whole queen thing out and just turn it into this internal political struggle in the Autumn Court and make it like a space race in the Fae world. It's a Dread Drove race. And Eris is like, listen, my father is looking for this. He knows the power you have. We don't know what the fuck Tamlin is doing in his beast form, just running around the Spring Court. So, are you in this or not? So we would unfortunately still have Eris, but it would keep the overall conflict contained. And would give Nesta a fun Fae scapegoat instead of a human who, at the end of the day, just also fell victim to, the Fae. So there's that. I also think that we should shorten, if not even remove, the panic and scare about Feyre's pregnancy. I wouldn't remove Feyre's pregnancy because I'm like, whatever, I don't care about it that strongly.
But the scare around it, I feel like.
But the whole thing about not telling her, like going through this chapter by chapter summary, I realized how long actually they drag out the point until until Nesta goes, well, Feyre, nobody's telling you, so I will. She does it out of a place of malice, because, like, malice first, concern second, because she's like, well, I fucking hate Recent, I hate all of these men, and then she's like, and also my sister should know. That's kind of the priorities she had. So I would shorten that or remove it at all, because the matter of the fact is pregnancies are already scary enough. Horrible things can happen throughout the pregnancy. A birth is very, very dangerous and very, very complicated. And you do not need to have a convoluted wing anatomy plot happening in order to keep up, like, anxiety around Feyre giving birth. So just scratch it. Just scratch it. Makes it unbelievable. Also makes it so that Nessa does not need a magical hip replacement at the end of the book. Because it was weird. Cutting that out. So, how would I... This is not going to be golden, okay? How would I do this?
No, it's going to be silver. Plain.
Nesta does get sent to the House of Winds. I did contemplate making her have a room in the McMansion, but I like that she and Recent don't like each other, and I think it would be weird for Recent to be like, sure, move into our house. So she does go to the House of Winds, but Cassian does not move in. She lives there alone. Weird pervert is not there. Because, matter of the fact, why would they even need him to be there? The house has a conscience, right? She does wish it into place, as we find out later, but the house already takes care of her. So we don't need Cassian to walk around and ogle at her boobs and hips and make out with her against walls. I would say training proceeds as is, without the weird human queen plot for Cassian. So Cassian just trains her. She just first refuses and then joins on later. She does her little library thing. Then the point until they meet for the first time to talk about the dead droves is far too long. I would shorten that as well. They have the little meeting talking about, that they need to think about their alliances, eras, blah blah. Nessa again says she will look for them because she doesn't want Elaine to go looking for them. And then one bigger change is that in the plot for the Valkyries and the friends and everything, I want Mor to be there. She's not in the whole book. It's so funny to me that in Silver Flames, Mor is there for, I think, 2 pages, where she just gives Nesta shit and then she leaves. For the rest of the book, Mor is constantly on some other mission, unavailable. And then she comes back for a meeting, and then she's gone again. And with this book, again, being about the power of women, unity, slay,
survivors,
girl boss, overcoming trauma of the sexual assault kind, I think it would be far more powerful to have Mor in there, training with them, being their mentor in this case, because she is not an elder, but she is, she's a higher up.
She's 500 years minimum older. I think we can call her an elder, whatever.
She's a senior citizen. And I think it would be fun to see her, Nesta, not only bond with new people who do not know her, but to also mend those gaps that she had with Amren and Mor, because they are from Feyre's team and they will always stay in Feyre's team. But there's like 2 sides of the healing medal, you have the new connections and you have the actual, at some point you need to address the old connections. So she's actually there to help. And not, like, they're constantly ogling Cassian and Asriel while they work out. She imagines having a threesome with them. I do not want to deal with that. I do not. So, we're putting more in there, and then she can have some lesbian thoughts about more. I'd rather read that. And then, yeah, I wrote down shenanigans go as planned. There's the weird scenes that they have where they go to the prison. She plays with the harp. She gets nearly drowned by the Kelpie guy. All that kind of stuff that can still happen because they have to look for the dead crows. And then I wrote down, big capital letters, no smut for the first half of the book. Because in the book... in the book they go, fuck, 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 fuck. She looks at Cassie and goes, actually, I think you're my friend. I think they fuck again. And then they're like, oh, well, yeah, by the way, when you gave me that blowjob, I think it was something like that, actually, I felt our mate bond snap into place. So, we're mates, by the way. No. Big ick for me. Big ick for me. So I wrote down, no smut for the first half. They start bonding as friends. Big on that. And then, my idea was, because I thought it'd be kind of cute, and would still fit the same badass, quote-unquote, badass setting. The Ramiel kidnapping happens. In the same way it happens in the book. Just that this time, this one guy who helps them is not secretly being controlled by the evil queen, but he's just an asshole because we don't need a reason for a man to be an asshole because we've been told the whole book. So why is he suddenly be controlled by the evil queen? Makes no sense to me. And afterwards, when she gets out of that ritual, all bloody and cool and triumphant, she walks up to him and kisses him. Because, she makes that step. She's like, I'm gonna romance this man. Watch me. I think that's a lot more fun than them being super horny. And I mean, it was fun that he actually came in his pants in the book, but, we don't need to repeat that for my sanity. And then, as it happens in the book, they come back from the Ramiel thing. Oh my god. Feyre's pregnancy, birth, blood, everything. And we can still have the Nesta Dreadtroves moment where she combines all the death powers and saves her sister from death during birth. And then they're good. And that's it. That's all I have. She does not lose her powers by the end. I did write that down.
I was about to say, I think it's fascinating that you're like, you know what, we're keeping the mysteriously dangerous pregnancy and there will not be a healer involved who could, fix things. She's just raw dogging that birth. She's just like, yeah, we're trying and we're not even thinking about, a C-section or anything. We're just...
I mean, when I said I don't want the wing thing to be there, I mean, a birth can be scary for lots of different things. Do they know about the Rhesus factor? I don't know. Do they?
Yeah, but I mean, right, if she doesn't need to spend her death powers saving Feyre and she keeps them anyway, then I feel like the birth... it can be stressful, but it doesn't need to almost kill her because I feel like in a society that has healers that can fix someone's wings who have been basically entirely shredded, I feel like it would not be difficult to keep someone alive even during a difficult birth. You know what I mean? The things that go wrong during a birth are not impossible to fix, especially not if you have a magic healer who can heal things that, they can just reattach a bit of the uterine wall or whatever if something, is torn or whatever. It's not... The things that make birth difficult are not arcane and mysterious. These are not things a magical doctor could not fix.
In this case, they are, because I decided to say so. I think I just still want that scene with her having all the dread troves. And I thought having that little reconciliation moment would be fine. Maybe things are very quick. Maybe the doctor doesn't make it in time. maybe the doctor faints because they can't see blood. You know, I'm gonna leave that to your own artistic imagination. I did nearly, but this is my headcanon
Doctor,
for my
she's
own
bleeding out. Listen, I'm a medical professional, but I can't see blood. I can't look at this.
This is a headcanon for my own rewrite. I did not officially write this down. But I was like, okay, and what if now that Nesta and Feyre are besties, Elaine is standing like at the door and she sees how her sisters love each other again and she's like, you fucking bitches, and then, you know,
becomes evil?
Yes. Next book, Elaine is the villain. But you can subscribe to the theory if you want to.
It's really funny. I can't believe my loved ones are getting along. Time to become evil.
It's just Elaine gets handled in such a funny way in this book, where she is simultaneously dragged along and actively being kept from doing anything. Because Nesta is like, first meeting where they're trying to find the dread troves, and Elaine is like, okay, I'm gonna do my thing that I already did, where I, you know, used my seer powers to try and find them. And Nessa's like, no, we can't do this. The last time the cauldron came to get Elaine, which not necessarily true, because somebody else came and kidnapped her. Like, the cauldron didn't just snap its fingers and got Elaine out of the camp.
It's also, like, even so, the cauldron is in possession of your friends who are hiding it on their, like, weird island or whatever. So even if the cauldron does get her, like, they can just bring her back. They're not, like...
It's
the
super
cauldron
weird.
is not in evil hands. Nesta is fine. You can live 3 days without your sister.
And everybody's like, yeah, no. Well, Nesta, we give you 2 days to decide. And then we will send Elaine. I'm like, why not send them both? Why not involve Elaine in the training?
No, Elaine has to stay in the kitchen so Azriel can look at her and think, wow, she's just like my mom.
It's truly, it's quite something. I would also overall just shorten everything. A lot of stuff is lore, but it's useless lore. It's overhang lore. I would say in programming, it's like introducing a variable and you're never using it. It's like this stuff that's either already implied by other things we know, or it gets mentioned and you're like, oh, this will be important, and it's not. It never gets used again. And a lot of it is, quite frankly, just misogynistic. And if you're like, well, but that's because the Illyrians are, it goes into the direction of, so this is racist, I guess. So it's like you're juggling these different supposed, oh no, this is important for the lore things that in the end just aren't, quite frankly. So just don't. Just also by cutting the sex scenes, I think we can save at least 20 pages.
I think you're underselling it. I think it's probably more.
We'll have to see it. Or actually, just don't.
The Cassian POV already shaves off a lot of pages, I feel like.
The Cassian POV is just, yeah. And it's very frustrating how he gets put into the situation. Because the overall thing is like, Cassian is like, okay, why am I going to do all of these things? Because we have a spy master. And Reason is like, well, Azra is already away. He's already, like, busy. And you've proven yourself to, you know, be a good general. So I'm gonna send you to do these spy master things. And he's like, oh, can we send more or Amron? And Reason is like, no, they're also busy. Which is why they're not in the book. Like, more even so than Amron. But it just puts Cassian into a situation which he shouldn't be in. He shouldn't be there. That's not his place.
Weird, because it's like, Reese, you know he wants to fuck that traumatized woman. Can you not send someone who isn't trying to do that at all times? Maybe? Like, come on, man. Come on.
Truly... So, yeah. I know a lot of people like this book because of the whole Nesta aspect of it. And I think the impact would be higher if it was genuinely just about that. And not try to introduce this convoluted plot where we don't even ever get to meet our villain because she is on a different continent controlling people running around in Prithian.
The thing that I will forever remember from the summary is that hilariously Sarah J. Maas doesn't understand stairs, so Nesta gets incredibly exhausted by going down the stairs and then magically ends up upstairs again, which is just incredible because I feel like anyone who's ever walked up or down the stairs knows one direction is way easier than the other.
I will
and
say...
it's not the downstairs.
I will say going downstairs at some point does make you queasy, especially if it's like a tight spiral staircase. That being said, her being exhausted after walking 111 steps.
It's not a lot.
That's not... Maybe it's the European in me. Maybe it's the I do not have an elevator in my building in me.
Right.
But 111 steps down is not that... Anybody who has been on a Stairmaster at the gym knows 100 steps up is not that much. Like in terms of just if you have a general fitness. And she is emaciated and she is, going through a withdrawal and everything. But not being able to do 100 steps down. In a Fae body...
Especially, she doesn't have to go fast. She can just, slowly make her way. Just kind of dawdle down the stairs. And it might take her 2 hours because it's just a very high up building. Yeah. But, it's not difficult to go down the stairs.
The more realistic aspect of the whole stair thing is when she trips on the stairs and she actually does fall quite a bit. Because a spiral staircase is a bitch.
You can keep going, yeah.
You can keep going, you fall, and at some point you can really just get a fucking concussion on a thing like that.
But that's also the thing. If she wants to get out, she can just, get, I don't know, I'll flat... get a dinner tray and just zoom down the stairs.
I feel like the biggest problem there is that she would constantly bonk.
I was about to say, maybe her teeth would be fucked by the end because it keeps, hitting the stairs. It's kind of uneven, so there's a lot of chattering going on. Yeah. But no, I cannot get over the stair, but it's not important at all, but it's just such a detail that I will never forget because it's so strange.
I haven't looked it up, but I think it was, what was it? 10,000 steps, I think it was, for the stairs. Did anybody ever do the math? How many, floors that is? How tall is this mountain? And if it's a spiral staircase, right? They go straight down. Because it spirals around, right? You can't just... So would she land in the middle of the fucking mountain and then she'd also have to do a 20-kilometer walk to the city? Because she just went into the inside of the mountain.
That's also a good question. Is it a really big spiral that just goes through the entire mountain? So you also, walk very far because you go giant circles? The diameter of the spiral is 100 meters, so you just have a really, really long spiral going on.
It's like a particle accelerator. It's just in a mountain going. I honestly, in my head, because of the whole her stumbling and falling thing, I imagine the sort of spiral staircase you find in
a clock tower.
In a clock tower, or in you visit a medieval castle and they're like, oh yeah, sure, these are some easy steps to get up, and then you look at the quote-unquote easy steps and you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
But even then, I feel like if you think about the stair numbers that I usually when it's you can go up into the bell tower of this church, it's 200 stairs or something most of the time. It's not that many, and they're usually not that high up. So 100 steps are not, like, stair steps are not that much.
It's 10,000 steps. Let me see how many
Totally.
floors that would be.
I mean, I guess, have we considered that, like, each step is just, like, very short? Like, the steps are not, like, 20 centimeters each, but they're, like, 3 centimeters, and it's just, like, very...
So, this is the Google AI. In a real-world building, there would be 555 floors.
That's insane.
That's a tall-ass mountain, I'd say.
Like, that's a really tall mountain. Also, imagine just if you just walked that up. Don't even think about how hard it would be, just the pure time investment to walk so many stairs.
So, 4 years ago, somebody made a post on this on the Akatar Reddit who did the math. Which a very funny note attached to it, which says, I don't do math in my everyday life, so this was a lot of work because I'm a nerd. Which is kind of cute. And also the cute addition of, I'm using the metric system because most of the world uses it. So, their method is, the Burj Khalifa is 2,909 steps, 830 meters, 200 stories, which is 3.5 steps per meter, which is 14.5 steps per story, which is 690 stories for the 10,000 steps, if we go by this. Which would mean it's 2.8 kilometers high.
Oh my god!
How long does it take? The CN Tower, I have no what the CN Tower is 1,776 steps, averaging to 30 minutes. About 10 floors per 3 minutes, about 100 floors. And if we count that up to our numbers, it would take us roughly 170 minutes, so 2.8 hours. And the fastest somebody has done could do the thing would be 7 minutes. So the fastest somebody has done the CN Tower was 7 minutes, so that would be 42 minutes for our staircase.
Okay, but our staircase is 2.9 kilometers. May I remind you how many kilometers tall Mount Everest is from, like, sea level? It's like 8.8 kilometers or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like 8,000.
Yeah. 8 something.
That's insane. Like, and we're not even, like, especially because there's a port, so we are starting at sea level, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? 2.9
that mountain is just...
You're going up a third of the fucking Mount Everest. I can only assume that the air pressure change, like, throughout your climb is also crazy. Because it's 2.9 kilometers. What the fuck? Damn.
I mean, overall, there's reasons why it would be hard for Nessa to do this. Again, mental health and physical health and everything.
No.
But this is like, that moment when they did the live action stuff for Game of Thrones, and they showed George R. R. Martin the first sketches and ideas for the wall, and he was like, that's way too fucking high. And they said, my man, you said this is like 8,000 feet high. This is what that would be. And he said, no, that's too tall. I had no idea how tall that would be. So it's similar to this.
Which is really funny, because, like, do you not think about that's why you shouldn't put specific numbers in things if you don't want to think about them, right?
Yeah.
Because then it's just like, some nerd will be like, wait, I am familiar with numbers. This doesn't sound right to me.
But again, now we have to consider not just the numbers, but the geometry of this whole thing, because it is a spiral staircase. A spiral staircase can't be like, it can't be, as you said, the diameter has to be really high or, like, big in order to shift it.
It's just kind of, like, not, it's not at a 90-degree angle, it's just kind of at, like, a 70-degree angle. So it just... Who
would do that? That's fucking awful.
It was built by drunk people. I don't know.
So either she gets dumped in the middle of the mountain, she has to walk, or the staircase, which it's not, because in the book it's just behind the random door. The staircase is like out on a pedestal, and she just walks down.
It's like one of those, like, you know, fire escapes. It's just outside.
Yeah.
Just...
What if it's a fire escape spiral staircase? You know, because then it would be easier to do the degree thing, because you could just always make one side longer. You know, like. Anyways, we spent, I think, 10 minutes talking about
staircase. Spend a lot of time on this staircase that matters not at all to anything.
No. Well, it matters to us.
That's true. It matters to me because it is funny. I think it's very funny because it's... I love when world-building ideas are not thought through, so the moment you think about them, you're like, wait, what? And this is one that's so obvious that it's just like, wow. Do you...
Yeah.
It's stairs. Who hasn't used stairs? Who doesn't know how stairs work?
I was about to say, there's the endearing stuff with, like, the wall in Game of Thrones, or what was it? I think in the first Percy Jackson, there's this arch that they go to.
Oh,
and then Percy jumps out, and, like, the water's very close, and then somebody was like, Mr. Riordan, do you know how far away that arch actually is? He would have to do a big jump to get there. And he was like, listen, looking at the pictures, I thought it was closer. So that's endearing.
Right.
But stairs.
Right? It's not even about the height of the stairs. It's about she gets exhausted going down the stairs and then somehow ends up back upstairs. However, while that should be more exhausting than going downstairs. It's just kind of charming in the way that it's like, what are you talking about? Did you think about this? Okay, it's stairs.
This is so fun too, because the implication is, no, you're not a prisoner. You can walk down these ridiculously long stairs and then go through a wilderness trek that will probably approximately take you like 2 to 3 days until you arrive at the tavern.
You're not technically a prisoner, but also if you leave, you die, so...
Yeah.
Pick your poison. And it's like, wow, that's great, guys.
Thanks, I guess. Yeah. Well.
All right.
Let's not continue talking about this. I'm very interested in how you're going to rewrite in your book.
Yes. A memory called Empire. I'm gonna be honest, I have not nearly as much material on this rewrite as you have on yours.
That's okay.
Because, frankly, there's just not that much that I feel like should change because it's a story that works really well. However, I remembered that both you and I had a little complaint at the end of it, which was, I wish there had been more Iskander from 7 years ago, who I love. So my rewrite is that Mahit had like a little bit longer to acclimate to her implant, and they're a little more fused so that he doesn't totally disappear when she sees his dead body, and he understandably has like a little crisis about it. But that he like for you know, for a little bit he's like out of commission, but then he comes back, and so we have the fun dynamic duo investigating his death where he's half the time like, would I do this? What would have happened to me for me to do this? And they can bicker about it, and I also just think it's very charming when through sci-fi or fantasy means somebody is required to solve their own murder. So I think that's really funny, and I also think it could add a lot of charm and like a lot of suspense to many interactions when sometimes accidentally Mahit has a lot more of his mannerisms than she should. So people are like, wait, does she have him in her brain? Like the people who are aware and otherwise people who don't know are just like kind of confused. And they're like, wait, what? Huh? Is she doing this on purpose? So, but which I think would just be really funny.
I'm imagining their POV being like, okay, they never met, so did you like watch videos of him and it's just trying to cosplay as this guy?
Yeah, they're like, is she trying to manipulate me by doing an Iskander impression? Like, do all people from there act like this? I just think this would be very funny, and also I want more of him, because I think he's just kind of very charming, and I like him better than the other version who's like, oh yeah, we should murder a child so this piece of shit can be immortal. Sure, yeah, let's do that. I don't like children, but I think that's a bad choice, man.
I certainly agree with the fact that, like, the Iskander who did all this conniving and sleeping around, at some point did lose the plot a little. I was like, is the Emperor's dick really that good? So I agree wholeheartly.
I also I sympathize with 19 ads who's like, listen, I like this guy, but we have to kill him. Like, he's gotta go. I'm like, she's kind of right. Like, I mean, I'm not just saying that because I think she's hot. I think she's just correct on this. But I also think if that happens, I'm kind of torn, but I think it could also be interesting if she never actually integrates the older version of Iskander and solves the murder just through his help and like through the more background knowledge she has now, and through having to do more investigation, because at the end it doesn't really, like, I don't feel like it's impossible for her to get to the point of like, oh no, I'm pretty sure I know who it was. Like, she doesn't need the exact memory of 19 ads actually doing it. She can just be like, oh, like, or she can learn from someone, like, who tells her that happened after, like, doing some sleuthing, doing some, blackmailing, really getting into the political intrigue. So I feel like we could have had that without needing him in her brain, which I think would also be fun, where it's like, oh, the older Iskander, like, he never planned for his imago to go to anyone else, but also the idea that, like, he just really died, and like the younger version of him gets to still be there and like do over and try to fix things he almost fucked up or whatever. So I think that could be a fun version of events.
There was a fun little slip with the do over the things he fucked. It's like, yeah.
It's like, well, we will never know how good or not good sex with 19 ads is, but that's sad. But
we're so close.
we also, the Emperor still like kills himself publicly in a very funny way to ruin the stupidest general's plans. I love Three Lightning. He sucks so bad.
At least he doesn't jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
The backrest type.
That's true. No, he does it with style. He like kills himself with a ceremonial dagger, okay, on live TV.
I was about to say, I thought the thing the Emperor does is pretty fucking metal in the end, if you think about it.
It's like, really deserved.
No. He's like, no. No.
I can understand what Iskander saw in that man. Clearly he has some, drama. Quality. He has some riz. He has, he's got personality. But I also think it's really funny that 19 ads didn't know what was gonna happen, and she's just like, oh no, are you shitting me? No, I don't want this job. And then she's like, okay, I guess you're forcing me into a job I didn't want. Fuck you. But someone has to do it.
She's standing there, she's looking at this. How old is the little guy? 12? 10?
Isn't he like 8 or something?
Or even younger.
His name is like 8 something. I don't know if he's 8. He might be 10.
I think he was like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Or like
he's
something
really
along those
young.
lines.
He's like...
He was prepubescent.
Yeah, little kid.
But like, she's looking at the dead Emperor. She's looking at the kid. She's looking at Mei. She's like, honey.
She's like,
stellar moment.
Listen, I did. Yes, we were in a relationship. Yes, I killed our boyfriend. But come on, do you have to do this to me? I hate this. It's really funny. No,
Imagine the emperor being like, "Yeah, no, this is your mess now. Bye."
Yeah, the emperor being like, "Well, we were planning to leave this to someone responsible who was gonna be like me in the body of a child, but you killed the guy who was gonna get me a chip to put myself in a little guy and live forever or whatever, so now it's your turn. Fuck you. It's your job now."
Such a petty bitch, actually.
I mean, it's also just, it was politically smart, but it's still very funny. I imagine
it
there
is
was
very
some
funny.
interpersonal satisfaction to that.
But yeah, I would really like this aspect of your rewrite idea to say the I forgot the actual name of the chip. The Imago? No.
The Imago.
It was
lines,
Imago.
yeah.
Of the Imago Iskander being like the only version of Iskander we're going to get because we don't get the old memories. I think that is pretty fun. Because it would also open up the fun idea of that guy being horrified by what he in the future would do.
Yeah.
It's not a separate person in that sense. It's not like, a clone of me would do that. No. It's
like,
a person.
you did this.
Yeah, with, of course, a bit of external input, things happening, but the person you are right now in your little Imago memory storage, you would do that.
I think that's very juicy for him to have to reckon with the fact what kind of person he might become in these kinds of circumstances. And I also like the idea of the future Iskander just being kind of a mystery. Like, we don't know literally what he thought.
Yeah.
We just saw what he did, and we learned from other people why he did it. Like, I feel like we could just say, during, like, they're trying to extract the Imago from his corpse, and it's broken, or whatever. Like, they just don't have access to him. Either that, or but he just like, I'm choosing not to take this, because, frankly, I don't want this guy in my head, because I have a younger, funner version that is not doing these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So
it's really a good haunting of the narrative is always fun. So
also because the second book isn't even about politics, so she doesn't even need the more court-trained Iskander version to help her, because it's about aliens. Who cares?
Still having a grudge on the second book.
I really like the politics aspect, and then it's just like, fucking first contact shit. I don't care about aliens. Meh. If I could rewrite it, I would have rewritten the second one to be totally different. But that's not on the table. It is what it is.
I should have done that. I should have given you
a desolation called P, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's my little changes that I think would give a different vibe to the whole book that I think I would enjoy even more than the original.
Yeah. I think that'd be very fun to have that in there as well.
Yeah.
I just love Iskander. I was so sad when he
immediately went away. I was also like, no, my guy, I just met him, but I love my guy. What?
It's like the Rosa meme where she's like, I have this puppy for 5 minutes and I would die for him. It's like us with Iskander. It's like, we've known this dude for like 3 pages and we already love him. Yeah.
But no.
Again, such a good book. Now I want to reread that one too.
I also want to reread it now, even though I'm not that big on sci-fi, but I miss... The characters are just so good. Like, I know it's kind of like a cheap shot to say, like, YA characters just don't have the same range, but it's true. There's like a lack of complexity in YA compared to good adult fiction. That is not adult because it's violent or has a lot of sex, but because the themes and complexities are just not for teenagers. They're aimed at adults. And like, it's so juicy. There's just... it's so good.
I agree.
I love the dimensionality of everyone. all the characters who suck, who try to have their own little revolution going on, who just fail. I love those too. I love it.
It's the overall construction of everything. Like for this specific book, to have Mahit as a very interesting main character who's like, she's the final boss of radical acceptance, you know what she's saying? Okay.
Yeah. She's just like, okay, this is what I have to work with. I'm not happy about it, but I will work with it because otherwise I die. Let's go.
She's like, this is it. I can't pick anything else. But yeah, no, I hesitate saying stuff like, oh, there's just no YA like this. Because, there's always the possibility of just not having read or seen that. But on average, I do definitely agree with your statement where it's like...
I think it's also just, like, A Memory Called Empire is a political drama. I don't think you really get political drama YA books because that's just not really... Because that's not what advertisers think teenagers want. So if they want it, they can go to the adult section and read the adult books. But I don't think you have a very successful time selling a political intrigue book to the YA market. Because the publishers would just be like, dude, just, like, put it in the adult section, right? Like, I feel like it just isn't really... Like, even if teenagers would read it, it wouldn't be written for teenagers. It would be written for adults, and teenagers would can at all points read books for adults. Like, that's allowed.
Yeah. I was about to say, that's also a thing, right? I mean, picking a genre that's for your age group, obviously, is, like, an easier way to get to books that you're most likely supposed, or, like, will most likely enjoy. But nothing is stopping you from reading something in the adult section. Or, like, in the grown-ups section.
Yeah.
And if you are concerned about certain themes of these books, you are always free to look them up beforehand. Because, I mean, we have addressed it in a different video that we did on, like, the whole spice and sex for teenagers, that kind of stuff. But if you yourself don't want to read that, but you do want to go into more adult and mature books, you can always look them up. You can type whatever the book title is and then search spice or sex or smut. And there's always a Reddit forum, a Tumblr post, somebody talking about whether or not there's smut in there, romance in total,
how much,
and any other thing. So, I would say, just venture out, read the adult books.
Yeah, I love books for adults, man. It's just, it's like comparing like more fast food to things that are like more complex. Like fast food's not bad; it's very tasty.
Oh
but
yeah.
Sometimes you need something with more dimension to it, where you're like, no, I really want to stimulate my brain in an interesting way.
I appreciate a YA book, or like a romantasy book in that sense, when it's just, when I'm in the mood for that kind of stuff. But I don't want to speak in absolutes, but I don't think that kind of book would touch me like A Sphere Cuts Through Water, for example. Or This Is How You Lose a Time War. Because there's still, like, even Vicious, for example. Great fucking book. But then you look at it and you're like, there are some things that are a little weird. Because it's still for teens, But it's amazing. But it's for teens. But
yeah, I think there's a simplicity that a lot of books for like aimed at teenagers have that just don't hit the same, because it's different to look at a story where everyone feels a bit more real, because everyone kind of sucks in a way, and it's not there are no easy answers. There is no easy good guy or bad guy. You have to make up your own mind how you feel about the choices these characters make. And it's like, dude, like sometimes you come away from reading a book and go, I hate everyone in this. I think everyone should die. And sometimes you're like, all of these people suck, but I like all of them. Like, some of them are more wrong than others, but, like, I get them. Even, like, the ones on the side of, like, the worst side or whatever, I get them, but, like...
There's, No, truly, I like it. And,
Yes.
I mean, talking about the overall, like, shelving of stuff, what's interesting is, this is totally not, like, KBR anymore, but, the new editions of Realmbreaker, because I was just thinking about when you said, oh, sometimes you just like all characters, even if they're like evil. I was like, oh yeah, I did, and Realmbreaker. And then I remembered the new editions of Realmbreaker with the more like a vintage fantasy cover style will be shelved in the adult fantasy section, actually.
Nice.
Victoria Aveyard has said, the old versions will be in the YA one, and the new versions will be in the adult fantasy
really
section.
Funny. That's
which
really
is
funny.
like crazy in a sense, right? To shelve one book in two different sections,
right?
Just because of the covers, because most likely the current YA covers, quote unquote, would not sell in the adult section.
I wouldn't even agree with,
or not
because
wouldn't not sell, but
they just don't fit the vibe as much.
Yeah. No, but there you see that sometimes it's just not that clear cut.
Sometimes it's literally just marketing where you're like, oh, this could be for either adults or teenagers, or sometimes it's just like, well, this teenager has written this author has written a lot for teenagers, so we'll just put everything there, even though a lot of it doesn't belong there. The same way sometimes, like, some Stephen King books get shelved as horror, even though they aren't, just because everyone's like, oh, Stephen King writes horror, so this is probably also horror, without looking at it, and it's like, that's not even the genre. He sometimes writes other stuff. Like,
especially, like, a lot of times, isn't his stuff actually thriller and not horror?
I mean, I don't really know where the exact boundaries are, because in my head, I have always thought that horror requires a supernatural element and thriller does not, but I have found out that horror does not necessarily contain supernatural elements, so now I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think there's vibes. Like a certain... I feel like there's a certain gray area, because you also have slasher books opposed to slasher movies, and there's like, okay, at which point is it a slasher thriller and a slasher horror? You know, it's like, at that point, where we go? I feel like Stephen King should be in his own genre, quite frankly, because
just give him his own shelves, the Steve shelf,
the Steve shelf, the Mr. King shelf, because so many people I've also seen don't really know what the guy is writing about, and then they get, like, so many people who were weirded out by the cosmic fantasy aspect of it, or was like, but have you looked at any King story? He does weird shit all the time.
I was like, yeah, it's normal for weird shit to be in horror. Like, sometimes it's like, yeah, and then this thing happened, and you're like, wait, what? Huh? And it's like, yeah, it's just part of the story, man. And you have to go, okay, whatever, I guess.
It was even funnier because the film, like, the movie is very mild about the book finale is in an alternative dimension and involves a turtle. But, yeah. Anyways.
Crazy.
I guess that was our KBR.
Yes, I would recommend everything that I had to judge today. I would recommend nothing I gave to Anna, so that's my takeaway.
I would recommend the two books that I read too. I would say that if you do want to tick off, quote-unquote, a YA classic, and you're like, oh, what should I read? I think City of Bones is the best option of the books I had today. If you keep in mind the time it was written, because of the overall vibe. If you want to really get into the vibe, watch the show, not the movie. Watch the show.
The show is also awful, by the way.
Yeah, what I was going to say, but the vibes vibe together. The show vibes, the movie vibe. The movie is also not like super bad, but the the movie vibes compared to the book vibes, I feel like the show, the CW vibe of the show, it fits the book series so much better.
The movie doesn't fit as well because it was trying to be a good movie with a bunch of like really well-known actors, and
Yeah.
that's not the vibe. Shadowhunter is just kind of like a bit trashy.
Yeah, and
so
you have to embrace the little trashy, and once you do that, you'll have a great time. So City of Bones, if you're in for a long time, not always a good time, but a long time, if you're a person who likes fandom, I would say that's fun. If you're a person that's into rabbit holes, don't Google Cassandra Clare. You will use days of your life.
I think it also bears remarking that Cassandra Clare is just on a craft level a much more competent writer than people of other well-known YA series, mostly also just because she was way older and had written way more when she got published. Like, as much as the books sucked, they are also very readable in like a telenovela kind of vibe. There's always some drama happening. Something's always happening. Is it juicy. Good? I wouldn't say so, but many people disagree. So you may make up your own mind.
And if you're in for a long run, Cassandra Clare's writing improves, actually. It's not like Sarah J. Maas, where it goes up a little and then it just suddenly bangs. There is a noticeable improvement of writing, and at least the books that I have read from Cassandra Clare, which would be the 6 of the Mortal Instruments series, and then what else did I read? The first of the Infernal Devices, and which else did I read? The Magnus Bane novellas. I think I also read some of them, not all of them. Her writing does improve.
Also, it needs to be remarked, unlike Sarah J. Maas, Cassandra Clare from the beginning has explicitly queer characters in her stories. Are they necessarily treated as well as the straight characters? No, but they are there, and they are typically good guys, and they're just kind of around. So it's like, she was at least trying. Which, if you remember early 2010s levels homophobia, that is at least something she may get credit for. She didn't need to do that. She did it. Did she do it well? Well, I would not say so. But she did try, which I think is at least comparative to other authors of the time something. I mean, look at Stephanie Meyer. Look at what other things were big in the early 2010s, and you go, oh, actually, this is more than could be hoped for in many other series. So, like, at least there's an attempt.
I will say Magnus Bane was such an iconic character, such an iconic character in the book space for that very reason. And I felt that concerning the relationship problems between Alec and Magnus, they were handled even more maturely than any of the other romances, because one of the guys is an ancient warlock and not a teenager. The bar isn't very high, that is to say.
The bar is not very high. But also, romances. I mean, the teenager is like racist against warlocks, so like we have a balanced spread of weird shit going on.
Yeah, that's another thing where it's like, hey, my my SS parents are kind of not approving of our relationship, not necessarily because it's gay.
Not
the problem is
like, it's not even
cherry
that
on top.
Gay. the problem is also not that I'm 16 and he's like 500. The problem is that they're racist. I mean, they're also kind of homophobic, I think. Like, I think
they are.
It's very funny.
It is one thing, but the way that you later find out, it's like, wait, it's not that, the age thing is a thing that Alec and Magnus later on get concerned about, and that
I think
becomes...
Magnus is the only person who's concerned about the age thing.
Well, yeah, because Alec is horny, but you know,
really
that's like an inter-relationship thing, right? Where the other people are like, "Pff, I guess. I mean, Magnus looks like a fucking banger, so why not? But the parents truly have a problem with the fact that he's a warlock and not, you know, they're a little homophobic, but it's like they're drawing the line
It's
at
really
magic.
funny. Yeah, no, the fact that Magnus is not fully human is like the breaking point. Which is really funny. Again, this is also a thing where you look at those books and go, you know, her writing gets better, but the fact that the Shadowhunters conceptually are extremely white supremacist is never addressed, and they're always the good guys.
Yeah.
The bad guys are just some Shadowhunters that are even worse. You know, so it's like... Funny. You know, it's not great.
Yeah. Even though, which is also, that's why I said, you know, like, consider the times this was written, okay? Yeah. Which is so funny because now you're making it sound like, oh no, you know, it's just the evil guys who are seen as evil. But even the normal Shadowhunters do heinous shit all the time. Like the whole, I forgot what the actual name was, but it's like their little leadership circle thing. They're not good people. They're not.
No.
But yeah.
Even our protagonists are really racist a lot of the time, and it's not addressed. Not really. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was thinking because the final Shadowhunters book is coming out, I think this year or next year. And then she's done.
I don't believe that. I do not believe her.
She said...
I bet she's gonna come back.
She said we will be done. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until that book comes out. I'm gonna see whether it's actually, like, is it open-end? Does it look like it's actually end-end? And then I might read the thing again. Because I thought, you know what?
Yeah, and then in 3 years she's gonna come out with a new series about the children of one of the characters or whatever. She's not gonna stop. I don't believe her. I do not believe her.
Cassandra Clare will go
She will
sci-fi,
never stop.
Where she's like Shadowhunters in 200 years. They'll be on spaceships. I would read that. Then we can be racist against aliens too. You know?
Then it turns out the aliens are just demons who came from a different dimension and landed on a planet that wasn't Earth.
That's Crescent City. We're not touching that.
I was about to say, this is just where all of the big urban fantasy authors and like fantasy authors are headed, like the big book talk favorites. Just they're all converging in a Crescent City amalgamation of weird shit.
You know, like everything turns to crab. and books is like everything turns to Crescent City. It's the ultimate evolution.
I do not believe that she will stop. I feel like she'll just come back a few years later and be like, I wrote another trilogy because I can't help myself.
No. It'll be like 5 different novellas. And then she'll come back with another trilogy.
Alright.
Let's see. Or she'll go the Edge Chronicles route, where they wrote a blog for a very long time and they were like, let's turn the blog into three more books, you know, just...
She's gonna just start TikTok live streaming and talking about a bunch of lore and then eventually be like, actually, I turned all this lore into a new book. You made me.
Okay. Right. Well, you have our recommendations. You have our little excursion on City of Bones. Bones? So that
Bone City? Oh yeah, there's a lot of boning.
People grind on each other. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this a bit shorter episode than usual. Still perfect for doing stuff around the house. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.